when Colin McRae Dirt came out in 2007, I doubt many people anticipated just how experimental this series would become. Dirt Showdown was, of course, the first attempt to really broaden the series' horizons, but the success, or lack thereof, for that game caused a bit of an identity crisis that led to it being followed up by a hardcore rally sim in the form of Dirt Rally, then the very experimental Dirt 4 with its impressive procedural generated rally stages, and now we come to Dirt 5, which has brought to the table the Playgrounds mode. We got to go hands-on with this mode over the last week or so, and simply put, it's Dirt meets Play Create Share from Little Big Planet. You're given a blank canvas and a ton of building blocks and sent on your way to create whatever the hell you want. And from that brief period that we and others have been able to play this, it's already clear that this is going to lead to some truly wild and impressive multi-layered creations. Anything that you will create or play in Playgrounds is going to conform to one of three game modes. Gymkhana is full of jumps, drifting and spinning, where you earn points for chaining these together and keeping your speed up. This will be most familiar to fans of Dirt 3. Then there's Smash Attack, where you have to race around to find and collect objects in the quickest time you possibly can, and Gatecrasher mode, which is a time attack through a string of checkpoints. Actually putting pen to paper, as it were, on this blank sheet of paper before you can be a bit daunting, not least if you don't really know which one of the three game modes you want to make something for. Even so, it's easy to quickly start bolting together the carcass of a level with building blocks of different sizes and shapes. There's ramps, humps, slopes, curves, and they're all available in both dirt and asphalt forms, with things bolting together really quite nicely. By default, they snap together and can be placed on top of each other and stacked up high. Rotating blocks will then happen in set increments, and you can just, put it together. And it feels a bit like you're making something out of slightly more rigid than you would expect Lego. But each of these hand-holding elements can then be toggled on and off as you see fit, giving you full freedom to determine the angle, the height, the just general layout, and if something's actually touching the floor or not. It can still be really quite fiddly at times though. The clicks of the rotation take a few too many taps of a D-pad for my liking to go 90 degrees or 180, and all of this fiddliness is then amplified once you start trying to decorate your created arenas with barriers, signs, arrows and so much more. The most unnecessarily tedious of them all is placing each individual points block that you can crash through in Gymkhana. I'd personally really love for Codemasters to change this so that you can just draw a trail of these and have them dropped in by the game automatically, instead of having to try and do so one at a time. Of course, some of this could come down from having played on console. The gamepad controls work well testing this on Xbox One, but I can't help but feel that it's all going to be that little bit more intuitive and slick when diving into Playgrounds with a keyboard and mouse at your control. It's also worth mentioning that we have seen much more fluid racing game creation tools in the past. I'm thinking of Mod Nation Racers and Trackmania, where you could literally just drive and change the elevation as you're going around, creating something very, very smooth and fluid. Of course, those were built with racing in mind, where this has just got a different philosophy and style to what you can create. But even if you don't really fancy creating something, or you find things a little bit too clunky for your tastes, you can always just play the creations that others have made. As I already said, there were some great creations uploaded over the last week or two as press and influencers got to grips with the tools available to them, and they thoroughly put my own creative skills to shame. My favourites by far were the Gatecrasher levels that built up and up and up into the sky, looping in and around themselves with inventive layouts that just left me dismayed at my own lack of patience and creativity. So while I doubt that I'll spend hours and hours creating the perfect Gymkhana course, to be honest, Gymkhana really isn't my favourite event anyway, because I don't really get on well with drifting in racing games. But putting that to one side, I cannot wait to see what the community is able to create when the game launches in just over a month's time. That's really all that we've got for you for this video. It was just a quick look at Dirt 5 and the Playgrounds game mode. Dirt 5 is out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC on the 6th of November. It's been delayed literally today, and that pushes it a little bit closer to the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X release, which is also expected for November, where this game will be a cross-generational release. And there's also a Google Stadia version scheduled to launch in 2021. Before we go though, let's just do those usual YouTube things. Please make sure to like, subscribe, share, and click various bell buttons, whatever. And you can also head over to thesixaxis.com where we've got all of this content in written form as well. So hopefully we will see you again soon. Goodbye!